security analyst at Beacon Consulting, a risk management and intelligence consulting company for Nigeria and the wider Sahel region. Kabir, welcome to the program. Is it likely that Doumbouya would hold a referendum if he wasn't likely to get the result he wants?
Thank you, Adnan. Given the trajectory of military rule all over the world and in Africa specifically, it is very unlikely that if Doumbouya knew the outcome is going to be against him, that he would not organize such a referendum. So it's a referendum that is more or less being held to put a stamp to what he hopes will be an outcome that will be favorable to him.
So we have these juntas that are in control, in whether they've changed from their military uniforms or not, Kabir. You know this better than I do. In Niger, Mali, Guinea, which we're talking about, Burkina Faso as well. How are they able to sustain their rule? Is it because they are concentrating on security and telling people that without a junta and a military person in charge, things will just fall apart?
So it's a combination of, I would say, three factors. The security factor that you've referred to, and then the more intrinsic one, which is the history of colonial rule. France was the colonial ruler in Guinea and most of the other countries that you mentioned. And over the period that these countries have gotten their independence, the types of relationship they held with France was one that did not support development in the various countries. So there is a huge anti-French sentiment in those countries, and this is one of the things that these military juntas have used to hold on to power. The other one is the economic factor, which is related to the second point that I've mentioned. Most of these countries are in dire economic circumstances. Almost all the indices are looking extremely bad. And so a promise of an improvement in both the economic and social conditions within the countries are also another reason. Sadly, however, looking back almost 4 or 5 years into the leadership of these military juntas, not much has improved in terms of the political outcome, the socio-economic outcomes, as well as the promise to transit to a democratic governance in all ramifications.
Yes, including people's freedoms, Kabir, because this idea that the referendum in Guinea is presenting to people that 1/3 of a Senate be appointed by the president, whichever country has done that in the past, and one that comes to mind is Chile after Augusto Pinochet. That is not democracy. That doesn't safeguard people's freedoms. This idea is a very strange one for Guinea, isn't it?
It is. It's a clear attempt for executive interference in the legislative process. And here, it's a way of the military ensuring, for instance, that they not only have their way, but even if, for instance, the transition does happen, that they're able to exercise significant influence to allow them to have their way. So it's a form of democracy that in reality is actually not democratic. It's just a continuation of, this autocratic leadership that we're seeing across several parts of the Sahel.
Kabir Adamu, thank you so much, Kabir. Always good to see you.
Same here. Thank you for having me.